Okay, we're going to install this tub, and we've already taken out the old tub, and it's right here. There's the whole area. It's all been removed, and all the preparation's been done. Getting it cleaned up. We took it all the way up where we wanted to make it, and so this is the way it looks now. And if you want to do your job same exact way, simply clean it all up, get it all prepared. You can see here we're leaving the extra 2x4 going all the way up here for a nailer. And so everything is just totally set up nice. The only thing weird is these 2x4s in this wall are going the wrong direction. So normally you have 3.5 inches to work with here, but here we only have 1.5 inches to work with before it hits the next drywall. So that's a little bit weird, and it'll change our bathtub installation a little bit. But other than that, these are all normal. And looks real nice. All these edges here have just been doubled. We got silicone here just in case any moisture did get back there. It's the silicone coming up. These are just real, everything's set up real nicely, ready to start the job. So this is a good way to come onto the job. The very first thing we're going to do is level everything. See where the left floor is. Over the years, they have a tendency to fall and contort. So we're going to find out what level is so we can make our bathtub perfectly level. We'll start right here and work our way across. We'll see what it is from left to right. Then we'll come over here and go this direction on both sides. And see where we're at, find our highest point, and we'll do our leveling from there. The rest will be filled in with leveler. So we'll find our highest point and find out how far out of level we are. Okay, checking our level in the back. We have 3/16 out. I have it sitting on three 1/16 inch shims. They just look like this. Grab any kind of shims you want. Mine just happen to be a 16th inch corrugated cardboard. And so I got 3 of them sitting underneath there. And by doing so, you can see it's perfectly level. Okay. And so, let's see. Get a better shot of that. Yeah, so anyway, it's perfectly level at 3/16 up on that side right there. Okay, going leveling the right wall. It's an 1/8 inch at a level here, so I raised it with my shim. As you can see, there's 2 shims there, 2 16th inch shims. So I have it up 1/8 of an inch to get it to be level. Okay, you can see the level right there. Okay, to fully describe our leveling process at this point, I started with that corner thinking that was going to be the low spot, and that this was going to be the, this is going to be the low spot, and this was going to be the high spot. It turns out that wasn't true. This is the high spot here, and so by raising it up 1/8 of an inch there, okay, I went ahead and raised this one going this direction also, and I had to add the 1/8 inch here. So right now it's perfectly level. It's 3/8 of an inch off on this side now, and yeah, again we have our level. So we got our level there, and we have our level there also. Okay, so this one here, there's an 1/8 inch shim there. There's an 1/8 inch shim here because this is our high point. This is our high point right here, and it goes up 1/8 of an inch, and I put it underneath that level too. Raise that up 1/8 inch. Time we get down to here is 3/8 of an inch. Okay, now it's sitting perfectly level, and we'll make our measurements off of that. Okay, so continuing that level all the way around, we get to the side where the shower is going to be, the shower drain, and I have it raised up 1/8 of an inch on this side here, because remember it was set up at 3/8 of an inch there. Okay, so as we had 3/8 of an inch here with these shims, by the time we get to level here, it's an 1/8 inch off right there. So you can see our level, and we're going to go from there. I'll do the front now, and we'll be ready to start our measuring. Okay, now our final measuring, leveling. So we have the board set in front. That's exactly where the edge of the tub goes. This tub is a 32 inch wide, and I got that thing sitting right on 32 inches there. And you know, if we did it right, starting here at the high point right here, we went over to 1/8 inch, brought it over to 3/8 of an inch, took it back to 1/8 inch, And now this thing here, sitting on those same shims, the 1/8 inch shims, and this being our high point, it should be perfectly level. As we come down and check, we see that it is perfectly level. Okay, it's right on the money. So it worked out exactly right. So you want to make sure your tub is absolutely perfectly level. There's no messing around here. You don't want anything going wrong, anything to give you a harder time down the line. You want it absolutely perfectly level. And so right now we have it set at perfectly level. Okay? And so we're going to go to the next step. When you go to install your tub, you're going to be putting down some leveler, whether it be mortar, mud, or you're going to use, like I'm going to use, expanding foam sealant. You can do that too if you follow the directions and do it quickly like I'm going to show you. You got about 15-20 minutes to work with it. Oh, it still works great. After that it'll be a real mess if you don't know what you're doing. So you may be safer just using mortar mud and then letting it harden up overnight. So anyway, we'll start with this. We'll see how it goes. If you feel comfortable with it, you can use expanding foam. The point I'm getting at is every tub is different. You want to look at your bottom, see how it's manufactured. And here we're going to look at the bottom and see that it is, shows here the rails, one here and one there. That runs the length of the bottom. See? So it rides on these legs, if you will. They're legs that are all the way down to the ground. Okay, they're 9 inches away from your tub edge. Okay, 9 and 19. You want to make sure that area is totally set up to catch those. That's where your main foam is going to be, to catch those two lines there. And then all these other honeycombs, if you will, inside will be filled up with foam too, holding it all up and secure and straight. Okay, on this one here, particular tub, you don't want to get any foam out here. You're trying not to push up this holder. This holder just really holds the fiberglass in. Okay, it holds it flat against there, so it's there. So if you had foam in there, it would push up on this thing and distort it and cause problems. So you don't want any foam past this edge here. Okay. Okay. Now we want to find out where our center line. We're going to put our rough setup for our drain and our waste and overflow. So we want to find out center line is. So I have my square sitting down there right in the center, and then I will level out the between the wall edge of the tub and straight down, mark that, and I'll know my point from the wall to the center of the. Okay, I got it set, and I put the blue tape there for you, just so it's a little easier to see. When I have it on the blue tape, it shows perfectly level. Okay, and that's 11.5 inches. Alright, so I got 11.5 inches to center. Again, from the center, from the wall, straight to the center line for my rough opening for my waste. Okay, now doing the overflow, same principle. You just come out and see what level is. And I have it set up down here with the tape for you, but for me, I just look at that right there, see that it's level. That'll be the back of the wall. And then I know that it's 8 1/4 inches. Shown right there. That's from the center line. Okay, so you center it, know where your center line is going to be, and it goes out 8 1/4 inches. Okay, 2 more steps for the waste and overflow. One, I'll show you. You can see the gap there between the tub and the floor. Okay, get that square up there, and you want to measure that. Okay, and that shows 1 3/4 inch, 1 3/4 inch, but you know we're going to raise it out 3/8 inch based on our leveling. Okay, so if it was 3/8 inch, it'd just be a little over 2 inches. Okay, that's where we want the bottom to be resting on. Okay, so approximately 2 inches, and we'll be set. Okay, we're going to want to check the back wall, from the back wall to the center line of the drain, and to get our rough opening for our waste and overflow. So we put our tape in the center there, and you can see that, to the center. So we come over here and level it up, and what we have You can see it from here. That's level, and it's at 14 3/4. Okay, so depending on your measurement, do the same thing. You just come to the back wall here and put a tape out there, extend it over to the center line like that, and take that measurement. That's your measurement for your rough opening. Okay, now to check our dimension of the waste and overflow from the back wall, which will be right here, where the valve's going to be. We put our tape right there in the center, and then we level that. I have it pre-marked for you so you can see that. And I have it set up at 1/8 and 1/8, 8 1/8 inches. And so level, that's level. Okay? You want to level down from your wall, straight down, get that dimension, and that's the dimension. This particular brand of fiberglass tub doesn't call for a ledger board, and actually said they don't like to even install them. We're not going to be resting on it, but we are going to install it this way because that helps for our leveling. We have a floor that's so far at a level, we're not just trying to put it in there with a couple of shims. We want the whole thing completely shimmed with levelers. So what we're going to do is put on this board, and I'll show you the process and steps to do that. And it's not going to be hanging on the board. It's going to have full leveling below, which is what they really are looking for. And so this is going to help us just to set the tub. We're going to put it in there, set it on there, nail it to the wall, and then once our foam expands, it'll fill up every crevice in our waffle design to make it a solid floor. Okay, so you get your board and set it up there like that, see how, make sure it's going to work right. Everything looks real good like it's looking right now for me. Take a measurement, take that measurement over to your wall, install it, and you're ready to set this tub. No part of this job isn't critical. It's all critical, but this is probably the most critical part, getting this back support perfectly level. Everything comes off of it from that point on, so it's all set up right. So you'll know it's right if this back wall is perfectly right. So I got it all set up. Remember our shims. We had everything made up to cover account for the fact that the thing's at a level. And we have it right now set up perfectly level. And I'll make my measurements, put our board on, and we're set to go. I went ahead and dry fit the tub. Just get it in there, see what it looks like. And I'm 3/16 of an inch off on the back. Everything else is perfect. The front's perfect. Everything's set up real nice. The back ledger board I have 3/16 of an inch too high. Clearly showed by our shimming right here. And so the shims show 3/16 of an inch of shims here. And then the bubble is perfect right now at level. Okay, so I'm 3/16 off on both sides. And so I'm just going to take, I'm going to go ahead and take, since I dry fit it, I'll just pull it right back out, drop it by 3/16, double check it again. It should be perfectly level. Okay, as I was showing you earlier, here's the bottom of our tub. So I have it standing up for your enjoyment. And right here we have two rails that it actually sits on. If it was sitting on perfectly flat, level ground, this would be the bottom. Okay, this is right here and this right here. These are the two bottom legs, and the legs continue straight on down. They go all the way, as you can see. And so that would be the level of them. You can see they're actually set up for drainage. See how you can see the top part here is about 1 inch. It goes down to 0 down there, like a piece of pie. So it's all manufactured real well and set up for drainage. But to us, this is perfectly level. It's sitting on a level ground. The tub is just shaped differently to drain correctly. So when we go to put our leveling compound in there, which we're going to use expanding foam, but if you use something else, regardless, it's going to go in here, not just hit on here on the surface, but it'll go in there and hold on to the top part too. It'll fill the voids like a honeycomb, and all this part here should be totally set up in mud. So your mud, let me go back a little bit, your mud should take up the entire space, okay? And not go any further, because especially this here is what I was telling you about before. This right here just keeps this floppy panel in place. Okay, it just holds it against there. So you don't want it expanding up like with foam. It might expand up and get out of the way, get all out of whack. You don't want that. So you don't want no foam in that area. So it's plenty of foam. If you put foam in this area, it'll stay here, and then you don't have to have it in that area. Okay? The rest is cake. This is going to be great. Good job, guys. It's looking real nice. Okay, here's my back brace again, and I want it to come down 1/4 of an inch. Okay, it'll be it was between 3/16 and 1/4, so it'd be best to come down a hair more because we're not really resting on it anyway. We're going to use the leveler with the expanding foam sealer to actually hold this thing in place. So having it down a hair will be better. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it down 1/4 of an inch since it's in between 3/16 and 1/4. I'm bringing down a full 1/4, and so I have it clearly marked here. Everyone's clearly marked, and I'll just take it out, take the screws out, lower it down, and we're ready to go. Okay, just readjusted the strip in the back to hold it level, and it's perfectly level. That's why I said it's real critical. It's still real critical even if you have to redo it. I know it's aggravating redoing something, but you really need to dry fit things and see how they are so you don't get in any trouble. It all turns out perfect. You want this thing absolutely perfect. Okay, I got my Rector Seal pipe thread sealant on the pipes down here, and should be ready to go. All looking good. I already have it on my other pipes, and now I'm ready to put this thing together. Looking gorgeous. Okay, so we got the new waste and overflow in there. This is the flex coupling. The flex coupling makes it really nice. Not only is it the PVC waste and overflow way better than the ABS glue-in, yeah, you can adjust it from here, just adjusting it straight down, then adjusting it here in and out, adjusting it here up and down. This is the flex thing, so you can do all kinds of things with it. Okay, it literally goes all over. So the angle of your jacuzzi tub or whatever, it's fantastic. It works great. And of course, it's cut like normal. It's what it's supposed to be at the angle like that. With the normal bathtub is not straight up and down, and so that's cut already and molded for that area. So that's our new waste and overflow, and that's the way you set them up. Okay, you just take your measurements from the wall to it, and then from the wall to it. And then how high it is off the ground once you got the ground level, how high it is to that point, and how high it is to that point, and you're set. And so that's how to do a waste and overflow. Works out just perfect. Okay, before we wrap this thing up, I'm about to put the tub in, and we got everything else all set. My panels are all set. And again, on the panels, you just want to measure over from where the panel is going to start to the tub spout, and then over to the valve. And so it should work out great. Okay? Alright. Okay, once you've measured out how the waste and overflow gets set in there, once you set your tub, it should work out just perfect. And which mine did. It's all against the walls. You can see here touching the studs and touching the studs there. Okay. And these ones here, as you can see, it looks perfectly right there. And then this one here, it's off a little bit, but it flexes, remember? So as you can see it, look at that. Actually perfect. So anyway, that works out great. It's totally perfectly set up the way it's supposed to be. I'll put the screws in there that holds that tight, and it'll be done. And we'll put the plumber's putty in there, get that all set up real nice. It'll be gorgeous. Alright, so that's how to do waste and overflow on your tub. Okay, you want to dry fit your whole system. So right now nothing's been glued, nothing's been set up, caulked, or anything like that. Everything's dry fit. Your waste and overflow is in. It's looking perfect. The pipe holes are all cut out and set perfectly. Everything's done right. I got all pre-drilled holes all the way through the thing wherever there's a stud. I'm pre-drilled, ready to go. No screws yet. Just a couple just to hold in place. But on this side, same thing. It's just all dry fit. Okay, you just want to make sure that it's perfect dry fit. Everything you like it's all totally level and perfectly set. Once it's totally set, then you take it apart piece by piece and then start doing your adhering. So I'm going to use, on the bottom, I'm going to show you how to use expanding foam for your base, and that'll be your leveler, and a rigid base. It'll be rigid when it dries up and expands. So I'll show you how to do that, and then I'll show you how to put all the pieces on. All these pieces are going to hold that down. I'm going to put 2 bags of concrete inside there. That's going to hold weight down in the middle. And then the sides will hold, the sides and the back is going to hold the whole tub down while the foam's expanding and drying. And so it won't lift. If you don't hold it down with weight, you could use water if you're so inclined, but I'd rather not because I've got a lot of stuff going to go on here. I got to put in sticks, and I'll show you how to do that too. Put in sticks to hold these panels in place. These panels are glue-in panels. It does have screws on the perimeter, but they're glue-in for the whole, so it doesn't shake, like it doesn't do that. Okay, so we're going to glue it all to the wall, but you have to use sticks to hold them in place. So I got it all taken apart again. Now I'm ready to take the tub out. First I want you to see that when you're looking at a tub like this, you're thinking, how do I want to make it stabilize it better? You know, it has legs and stuff on it to keep it stable and all that, but instead of just putting a couple of shims there and leaving it, there's voids underneath there. And you want to make the voids completely go away, make it really sound as though it's on solid concrete. So you really want it sound, so you can use mud, some kind of leveling mud, and then just push it down into it, and when it dries it'll be solid. That's one way. Or you can do like I'm going to use expanding foam. And so you want to look at where you want the foam. There's no reason to put it out here. These are all voids here. You know, this is all voids. So there's no reason to put it anywhere it's not going to do any good. So just where you stand, so you want to do it about 6 inches away from the drain. Nobody stands closer than 6 inches. And then from 6 inches out towards the end. And so if someone gets in at the very edge and stands in the tub right there, all the way around, the entire place where you have your feet, that's where you want to have expanding foam, okay? Or your leveler compound. So you want to have it anywhere a person's going to be standing. That's where you want to put it below to make it solid. Okay, again, here's what your tub looks like, the bottom of it. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see very clearly, but it has a nice base on it. And you could use all these designs that it has on it. It's been engineered to hold it flush, especially if it was on a perfectly level ground. That would be, you know, relatively substantial and nice. But you still want to make it solid if you can. You know, it don't cost very much money to do it, a little bit of time. So we're going to put in a compound that's going to go into these voids and fill them in and make it solid. So all these will have not just a nice honeycomb feature, but it'll be all solid, so sitting on solid concrete. Okay, kind of, that's the effect. And so you can see that the dimension is not as big as the tub. The rest of it is just a big void. Everywhere is just a big void. You want to put the compound, leveling compound, in that area that you can see that will be touching the ground. Okay, and fill up all the honeycombs with it. So I have my clearly marked out here, and it's marked out exactly where that base goes. And I'm going to fill that area with expanding foam, and then we're going to set our tub, put our walls on, get our drain set, and put in a couple bags of concrete, and that'll be good for the tub. And then we'll go to the next step after that, and I'll show you how to secure the walls when you have one of these plastic kind that get glued. Okay, when you're doing the leveler, whether you're using expanding foam or mud, you don't need lots. You know, think of it as though it's just going inside those joints and not necessarily holding up the whole thing. Okay, so you don't need a big giant mound up there. So we're going to go ahead and do it now. And let's just see. Okay, that's about the amount you want, and just the little beads going back and forth, and it'll all become one big nice leveler pad once we get it all set. Okay, all finished. Got it all caulked in, and you want to make sure you use 100% pure silicone and white. That way it takes care of the imperfections in the plastic manufacturing. So it all kind of looks like one piece. It's at least it's blind to the eye. And you don't see, if you use clear, you'd see the shadows and see darker on the lines between the sheets. So use white, it turns out real nice. So this is our finished product. It looks real good on both sides. And like I said, it's hard to see the lines because it's white. And it worked out real nice. So there she goes.